one thing that I hate about web development. It's that sometimes you get hung up on the most asinine little thing and you just can't figure it out. This was the case. As you know, I have been making Brickstyler mobile first because I truly believe that as a developer, if you want to be making money from now into the future, you need to focus on what AI is not focusing on, which is mobile first development. But that's a whole other story. The point is it brought up this problem. Let's go to Cosmo, shall we? Because it's one of the most visited mobile sites. And I was using them to kind of see what they're doing. How complicated are they getting? How much are they paring down? And the first thing that hit me was this. I see an image that has somehow broken the padding. Now, my first thought is, well, okay, why don't we just reverse it? And I tell you what, let's actually go look at the problem here in the builder. So the problem is that most frameworks, my own included, Brickstylers like this, most frameworks shy of one does put the padding out on the section. And when they push the container in, there's nothing wrong with it. It's kind of the way that it's been done, and it's fine. I do it on desktop all day long. But the problem is, once you are inside that container, there's no way to push out other than being super hacky, and I'm not even going to get into it because it's dumb. So how do you solve it? Well, I thought this is going to take me about 2 seconds. I'll just change the Brickstyler thing. And here, I'll actually do it here. I'm going to have to do it on the desktop version because this is not a mobile first installation for this little sample site. But the long and the short of it is, in my theme style, where I give the default padding, I have a space M on both sides. So if I take that space M out, well, looky there. Now we have that full width picture, right? The problem is now I'm going to have to put a padding on every single thing. That's going to be a pain in the ass. Or I have to have the image outside of a section or whatever. But you can't do that because if you're trying to do it in a query loop, you need to have it in an element. You see where I'm going with all this? So it sent me down a little rabbit hole that I truly had trouble solving, between dealing with the studio and all the softwares I'm dealing with. It's been a hassle. So let's actually get to what the solution is, shall we? So we're here in our mobile first installation, and as you can see, I have it solved here, but I want you to see how it's done so that it's not just, oh, here's magic sauce. And because I thought about that, I thought, you know what, why don't I just stick a class inside Brickstyler and I'll tell people, oh yeah, use this class because, it just happens automatically. So the problem is that automatically doesn't teach you anything. And that's the whole point of Brick School, right? So let's take a look at this so that you can understand. So inside of the theme style, you will notice that I have, in fact, had to change the Brickstyler theme style, the mobile first one. I've changed it to, instead of putting the padding on the section, the padding's on the container. However, you see in this second section here, because this is just 2 copies of the same thing. In the second section, the image is still full width, right? So what the hell? We achieved nothing because we have to break out past it. But even that I found really, really difficult. So let's go ahead and I'll show you most of the code, and then I'll show you what the final, because it's a brick specific issue that this is why I was pulling my hair out. So what we're going to do is we're going to create some custom CSS. You could just put this on a class. In fact, I probably will add this class to Brickstyler eventually, but I really want people, because I wanted to talk with everybody, see what did you think? How should this be handled? So on this image, we're going to give it some custom CSS, and we'll just inside this root. And the very first thing you're going to want to do is go display block. And the reason being that by default images are display inline, and we clearly do not want that for this. Now, the next thing we're going to want to do is to set the width. Okay, and we'll set it to calc 100%. And we need to minus the padding. Remember we put the space S padding on both sides. So we're going to go subtract var space S and forgot the timesing that by 2. And you'll notice it got a little goofy there, but that's okay. Let's not even worry about it. Let's just keep on keeping on for now. Here, I'll give this some spacing so you can kind of read it a little bit better. Next, we'll do the margin dash inline to give it inline margining. Another calc, and this time we'll do a var space S, and we will times that by -1. Now we got rid of the margin. And one thing I did actually wrong here was that should have been a minus. I apologize. Typing with my mic here gets a little difficult. So now we have close, but we're still not there. And this is kind of where I started pulling my hair out. I was like, this should be working. And in fact, let's go ahead and save that. And we will view it on the front end. I think I have it loaded here. Is this being viewed on the... Yeah, there we go. Okay, and as you can see, it's not working. So let's check out why. And it didn't take too long once I figured it out, but I didn't really think to look. So we have our max width set at 100. And I was like, well, I didn't set a max width. And when I went and looked at it, it's like, it is coming from the default for the image right from bricks. So all we got to do is throw in max width, none. And there you go. You have broken out of that. So what I'll do is I will copy that code and I will call one, I don't know, you can call it whatever you want. Let's call it no space or full width. I think I already did in a test and did full width. Yeah, there was one. So here, well, we'll create another one without the space, full width, and I'll stick this on it and boom. Now I have a class. Should I want anything to bust out, you just go full width. I really wanted to show this to you because it is a great way to go in the negative. Because once you're pushed in and you're in the child element, it gets real hard to push back out. And you notice what I'm doing here in this calc, and a calc is literally nothing but a calculation. I am taking, at its core, I'm taking that space and I'm timesing it by -1, which equals basically the same as 0 minus the space so that you're going in the negative. You get it? But for whatever reason, web development, do the times -1, okay? Or times -2 if you want it to be both sides. And that's why the width, we have to take the width that would be 100%. You still got that padding coming in from the container, okay? We have to go a little bit further. We have to take that space padding and times it, because it's on both sides, by -2. And that's how you get to the full width. So hopefully this helps you. I wouldn't doubt for smaller elements and stuff like that, this actually could come in handy. So definitely a class you may want to use, but definitely when you're using mobile first, this is important. And the reason it's so important is because a lot of times you got to build things that are going to swipe full screen, maybe whatever. You have your images as we saw in the Cosmos site, or maybe you just want your menu to go off screen, which is a great way to say, hey, there's more shit over here. Pull it on over. So hope that helps. Easy class today. I know that classes have been a little slow in the coming. I apologize. I've spread myself a little bit thin. I will have an announcement about that in the next day. Maybe today, probably tomorrow. But yeah, we'll address that. Okay, so have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next class. Bye now.